Hey, shalom everyone. This is Amir Tsarfati. I am here, as you can see, from Galilee, Israel. And I want first to thank all of you for engaging in the effort to unveil, expose, and not suppress the horrific news that came from Syria, that are still coming out of Syria, with the genocidal massacre that is still going on against both the Alawites, the Christians, and also to some degree against the Kurds in Syria. Just so you know, world media is completely ignoring it. Just so you know, Al Jazeera will not talk about it. Most legacy media outlets will not talk about it. And it's you and the way you engaged and you responded to my plea 2 days ago, on Saturday, it's you that are responsible for the fact that now not only people talk about it, but also the United Nations Security Council will convene and deal with the horrific things that are coming out of it. No one could stay indifferent to those horrific videos that are still emerging, and they're still going on. So let me first make it very clear. There is still massacre going on in the villages, the cities, and the towns over the minorities in Syria. There is no doubt about it. The only difference that is now going to be felt is that they understand, I'm talking about the Sunni jihadists, the Al-Jolani's people, now they understand the damage that the footage caused. And so they did not ask their people to stop the massacre, they just asked their people to stop filming it. Now, these breaking news are not just to thank you and to ask all of you to continue and like and share and comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel, but also to tell you that something unprecedented took place in the last few hours. I'm reading to you right now a letter that was sent to the Israeli Prime Minister and Foreign Minister and Defense Minister by the leaders of the Alawites in Syria. Now, before I read that, just so you know, because of your engagement, because of your sharing, I began to receive messages from Alawites on the ground in Syria, to be more particular, from the city of Latakia. They write me. They found me on Instagram because that's the only place you can write me direct messages without being exposed. So they write me on Instagram, direct message. And by the way, follow me on Instagram if you want to write me a direct message, because you cannot do that on Telegram. And one of them, and I'm not going to tell you his name or profession not to expose him, he is reporting to me almost on an hourly basis on what's going on there. And just so you know, the Alawites are considered a fraction in the Shiite Islam, but remember, Shiite Islam is less than 15% of the Muslim world. Most of it is Sunni Muslim. Okay, so they've been fighting forever. Now, the Assad regime, the Assad family, is originally Alawite from the coastal cities of Tartus and Latakia, Banias, and all of that area. But I want you to understand that Assad was very cruel to everyone. And when the Alawites had to pledge an allegiance, of course they supported Assad because they knew that the Sunnis, as soon as they get control over the country, they will slaughter them. And so, at least I was told that the Alawites, when they watched the events of October 7th, they were sad to see what happened to the Israelis, to the Jewish people that were massacred, but more so, they were terrified because they knew that they're next, because they knew that this could happen to them as well. And lo and behold, in the past 72 hours, October 7th on steroids is happening. Now, you have to understand the whitewashing of what's going on is unbelievable. I'm reading respected people on X and other places. There's a guy that is based in Washington D.C. and he operates the SyriaWeekly.com. And look what he wrote. You know, obviously he's anti-Assad and pro-Jolani's regime. And he says, large number of people are tragically dead. But let me tell you the other side of the story. Large number of people are tragically dead. Can you imagine me describing the events of October 7th like that? Large number of people are tragically dead. He's not saying who killed them, how they killed them. And we are exposing the horrific, not just massacre, but the humiliation even before they massacred them. They make them crawl on the floor, bark like dogs. They rape people. They kill them. They shoot them. They execute them right in the head. They make them run, and then they just spray with their machine guns. I mean, I've got all the videos. They killed families. Not just, it's one thing to say armed people are fighting armed people. And by the way, this whole thing started with armed resistance from the Alawite area that were ambushing the armed forces of the government, okay? Which are Al-Qaeda, basically. So it started like that. But guess what? As ISIS and Al-Qaeda are known for, they were not satisfied killing militant or armed people. They go from house to house and they butcher the whole family. Babies, mothers, young people, older people. And not before they film the humiliation. They call them pigs. This is normally what they call to non-Muslims. But the Sunnis consider the Alawites, Shiites, as inferior and defiled. They're not really going along the orthodox way of Islam. So for them, they are as bad as Jews are. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the letter that was sent hours ago. And I'm going to read to you as much as I can. This is a free translation from Arabic. And it says, in the name of, listen to this, in the name of Lord Moses, David, Jesus, and Muhammad. This is how they refer. This is the way they write. They don't want to sound like we're Muslims and they want to speak to the Jewish people right now, and they want the Christians also around the world to hear them out. So this is how they start and say, we, the Alawite clerics, issue the following statement after our meeting in one of the coastal villages. They don't want to tell you where, of course. And then it says, after the fall of the Assad regime and the assumption of power in Syria by an extremist Islamic group that adopts killing, kidnapping, displacement, and intimidation as method and way to rule and dominate, and after the massacres and violations that occurred, violations and rapes, that occurred in the Alawite areas against their people in Tartus, Latakia, Homs, Hama, and the international area of Damascus, and after the crimes of ethnic genocide, with the exception of the state of Israel, which spoke the truth and echoed the truth and condemned these criminal acts. Now watch this. We declare our demand from the government of Israel, represented by its Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, to provide protection, assistance, aid, and support, because the entire world has been silent about our injustice. And we have only heard a voice from the state of Israel condemning the crimes committed by the Damascus government against the Alawites, and for that we thank it. I mean, it's almost like unbelievable for me to read. This letter is from a group of people that was allied with Assad, Hezbollah, and Iran. They were betrayed by the Hezbollah and by Iran. They are being massacred by the other side of jihadi Muslims, the Al-Qaeda and ISIS. And now they said the only group of people in the Middle East that we can trust is Israel. And look what they say. We say to the Jewish state, we extend our hands to you and we will be your best and most loyal friends so that you can rid us of this extremist Islamic rule that will be a place for training and preparing groups from which they will launch their fight against you. They're basically saying, if you don't assist us, we're going to be the launching pad for their attacks on you. In the past, you have suffered from the Islamists and known their crimes, and the treacherous terrorists of Islamic terrorism are the best example of the Hamas movement and terrorism as an example of terrorism and terror. And Hamas movement is established a base in Syria that will be a launching point for action against you. They're saying Hamas is not only in Gaza. Hamas is in Lebanon, but let me tell you, it's also in Syria. And they are aiming against you. And look what they said. You know that the Alawites have never been extremists, terrorists, or heretics, but rather moderate, tolerant, and believers in human brotherhood. And that they do not differentiate between Jews, Christians, and Muslims. We are a minority like you in the Middle East, so let us unite against the Islamic tide led by Turkey. Wow, it's an indictment against Turkey, not just ISIS, not just Al-Qaeda, against Turkey. First place, then help us say goodbye to this extremist Islamic state. We cannot live with these cruel animals who wear Islam as a cloak. My sons of David, your origin is gold, and this is what time has proven. Help us, and you are our honorable brothers. If you reach the Syrian coast, which is mostly Alawite, you will be welcomed with songs and flowers. May God bless the honorable state of Israel, its great leaders, and its free and honorable people. We would like to thank Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar for his words about the Alawites and the revenge and harm they are subjected to, something no Arab, Islamic, or international foreign minister has ever done. Now, since we ask you to promote the video that I reported this whole massacre, the United States issued a strong statement against what's going on there. The UK was attacking the Alawites. The UN is silent. Europe is against them. Europe betrayed them. The UK betrayed them. The UN betrayed them. Turkey is against them. And the rest of the Muslim world is silent. And let me tell you, if you think that the other minorities around are not watching, kiss that thought goodbye. The Druze are going to hoist the Israeli flag shortly everywhere, knowing that the only country that will ever come to help them and save them from these things is Israel. We live in historic times when in our most difficult enemy country up until a year ago, there is a huge population that actually wants Israel to become their patrons. Unbelievable. Look, a year and a half ago we were massacred. And today, Arabs, Muslims are asking us to protect them in Lebanon and in Syria. They understand that the only force that can come against the jihadi mentality of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Hamas, and also Hezbollah, they understand it's only Israel. And I want to tell you another thing, and you can find it on my Telegram channel. There's a genocide going on right now against Arabs, done by Arabs, and the Trafalgar Square of London is empty. You know why it's empty? Because when Arabs kill Arabs, when Muslims butcher Muslims, the world does not care. Because the only thing that brings them out to the street is not caring for Arabs or caring for human rights. It's pure Jew hatred. When Jews are not involved, no one is going to advocate or champion for any of those people that are being massacred right now. It's pure Jew hatred. That's why there is no attention from the media. That's why Al Jazeera is not there. That's why no one chants in the streets of Paris and London and Berlin and Amsterdam and Oslo and Stockholm. No one. They continue to chant the lie about the genocide that against Palestinians, whereas the Palestinians are actually the biggest deceivers of the 20th and the 21st century. There is famine. It's in Yemen. It's in Sudan. It's not in Gaza. There is genocide. It's in Syria. It's in Sudan. It's in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's we have places in Western Africa where Christians are being massacred by the thousands, such as Nigeria. There is genocide. There is famine. It's just not in Gaza. And they'll keep feeding you that lie because they're just Jew haters. That's all they are. So I'm just telling you, subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing is working. It is working. World powers are now paying attention while the media is not. You are now watching the new media that will report you the things that the legacy media will not. So I need you to continue to subscribe and like and comment and share. These are the 4 things that take 20 seconds. They make huge difference. And it's within our power to help so many people from being completely butchered. By the way, that same Alawite from Latakia told me that they are running Telegram groups with names of all the victims, and it's already above 10,000. All the reports are false reports, trying to minimize the damage, trying to say it's just 1,000, just 1,200. It's already above 10,000. It's not October 7th. It's October 7th on steroids. So I want you to understand that you have the power to bring awareness to another genocide that is going on right now. The other one is the genocide that happened on October 7th against us. This is another one. And it's done by the same people with the same mentality and the same cruelty in the name of the same religious spirit. So please, please, please share, comment. Let the algorithm of YouTube explode. And they cannot suppress it anymore. This is exactly what happened in the last video. It reached over 500,000 views in less than 2 days. And it brought this thing to the attention of so many. I'm getting messages from people who would never, ever watch this channel. And people from all over the world are watching it and they're stunned. Nobody's telling them about this. Please share. Please subscribe. Please like and please comment. Make your voice heard and make your opinion seen in that horrific blend of poison that the anti-Israel movement is flooding social media with. So thank you for watching these breaking news, this letter, the news about what's going on over there as well. And remember, you're making a great difference with the way you are engaged in this whole thing. So thank you for watching, and share this thing. God bless you. Bye-bye.